That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Yeah. Did everybody dress up?
Oh, yeah.
What's the dress code for career fairs?
Jacket, tie.
Jackets and ties. What did you say?
Business professional.
Business professional. What does that mean?
The suit to me. Suit, tie, shirt, pressed, clean, dry cleaners.
Is that what it means to you too? Suit and tie? How many do you think, are all of you aspiring CPAs? Not everybody said yes. So you're all planning to be in the accounting profession somehow. And I graduated from Missouri State when it wasn't named Missouri State, so that's a long time ago. And so the numbers don't mean it. I think they changed all the numbers. So this class is a 300 level class. How many years into your college career does that make you?
3 years.
So you're in your third year? Okay. And so have all of you taken cost accounting, and they may not call it that anymore. Is that managerial?
Managerial costs.
I think they call it cost at the 300 level.
Okay. And everybody's made it through that class? So you're really going to be accountants? You make it through that class. All right, so Kyle has asked me to talk to you about networking and thank you notes and employment. So let me give you a little history about our firm, and it'll tell you where we got to on this part. And I will have done this prior to all of you being born, so just keep that in mind. I graduated from Missouri State in December of 1980. And I'm finishing 41 years at the firm I'm at right now. So a long time. And the reasons why I picked where I went and what I've done in the course of that, I think I learned a lot of it while I was in school. So, and then you have to build on it as you go through there. As a firm, we didn't start recruiting at college campuses until the mid-90s. So I'm there 15 years before we decide that we need to start getting to the college campuses and recruiting young, aspiring CPAs. And so that was me and my partner, Tom Everett. And I would just make it relative. We're 64 and 65 years of age. Okay, so we're not young anymore. And so, but if you can imagine that many years ago, we were younger than we are now, so it worked really well. It would not be effective for me to do that anymore just because. The age difference is really difficult. And so we began that, and I learned a lot about how to pique the interest of young people to come to our firm. And at first, I don't think we were very good at it. But then as we progressed along and got a little better, and we started off throwing a huge blanket out, and we went to every state university in Missouri. And I don't know whether when you were looking for colleges, you knew where I mean, Truman State's way up there in that corner, and Northwest Missouri State's up in that corner, and Southeast Missouri's down, and we were traveling all over the place. That wasn't good use of our time. But what I did learn about is the ones that we were interested in, they got really involved in school. And again, I'll give you a backstory. I did not do that when I was in school. I wasn't in the accounting club. I don't even know if Beta Alpha Psi existed at that time. I'm not sure. They didn't invite me to join. I know that. And so I didn't know networking. I had a full-time job and went to school full-time. And that's all I did. That was expensive for me to do that because I didn't have any friends. I have 0 friends that I graduated with from Missouri State in 1980. I didn't meet anybody. That's the biggest mistake I made. The professors I had, I didn't get to know them at all. I went to class, I did all my homework, I took the tests, and I went to work. And that's my second mistake I did because I got my first job. I got my first job the day after I graduated from college. And that's probably my first mistake. I didn't even try to get a job prior to graduating from college. But I took the first offer I got because I had no network of friends, nobody to refer me. So that's what I'll talk about today is that piece of it and how important it is. I also polled 5 of our youngest full-time staff members at our firm and asked them the same questions and what that meant to them. And I'll share some of the responses with you here in just a little bit. So what did that mean for me? And why is that important for you? So how many of you are in the accounting club? Is there an accounting club? I'm obviously
Yeah.
dating myself
Yeah.
here. Is there an accounting club? Anybody in it? So you got a few. What do you do in that? What happens in that? I will call on you, by the way. I was given permission in advance to call on anybody, so when you raise your hand, I'll know that. Go ahead.
Some networking, learning about firms here in the area, what opportunities are available to us, things like that.
So when you say firms, you're talking about CPA firms.
Yes, usually.
So can you name off 5 CPA firms in Springfield? And just so you know, our firm should be first. So you had to listen to the introductions.
Well, I work at a firm, so I was going to say mine first, but
Okay.
Abacus,
Okay, Abacus, okay.
KPM,
Okay,
Corvus.
okay.
I'm blanking on the other two.
Anybody else?
Elliot Robinson.
There's extra credit points right there. You listen to the intro.
And Whitlock.
There you go. Now we've got 5. And obviously there's significantly more. You did name off the 5 largest CPA firms in Springfield. So you did do that. And there's a lot of other firms. When I started at Elliot Robinson and Company, there were 5 people. And now we're going to be 60. So we've grown a lot. So what else do you do in that? What do you know about any of those firms? And you don't have to get specific by firm.
I mean, they offer CPA services to the public
Do you know any of the names of the people?
that work there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, at my firm, I do.
Okay, so you've met some people. How long have you worked there?
A year and a half.
Okay, excellent. So you're a part-time intern?
Yes.
Okay, who else? Who else has an internship going right now? Anybody else? Okay. What other programs are you involved in school? They don't all have to be accounting related.
Financial Managers Association.
Okay, what are you doing now?
I'm the Vice President of Public Relations.
Okay, what's the club do?
Well, they meet and they have an employer there every meeting, and we do at least one food pizza or something where everybody gets together and we do some team building and stuff like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
valuable?
Oh yeah. There's some really great people over there that are, the president, I call him the triple mage. He's the triple major: economics, finance, and accounting. So he's a really good kid. Yeah, he's an overachiever for sure, Liam, but he's a good kid. And I really enjoyed just hanging out with those guys and kind of like-minded. So it's fun.
Okay, so when you were in high school, what kind of networking did you do? Well, define networking for me. What's that mean?
Just making connections with people.
I like that. That's good. Okay, so in high school, what kind of networking did you do?
Athletics, maybe.
Sports? What else?
We had like student leadership team in my school. So it's like networking with the other people, other student leaders in your school.
So is that like student council or something like that? Student government? Okay. What else? Did you go to workshops, camps, things like that where you met as a group?
Oh yeah, we did. It was something called Camp Clark out in Nevada, Missouri, and it was basically like doing training with the reserve people, the reserve members, and they did like team building and stuff like that.
Awesome. Are those people still your friends? Who else said they friends in your
Oh yeah.
same thing?
We stayed hooked up on LinkedIn and all that stuff too.
So when you finish up your schooling, you're going to get a job, and you're who knows what you're going to do. You might be in public accounting, you might be in private accounting, you might go into government, you might not even do accounting, you might do finance, you might do something else that piques your interest. How many know what the average number of years a new college graduate keeps their job? their first job?
I would say 5 years or less.
That's a correct number. But how many think it's even less than 5?
2.
You're close, it's 3. The average college graduate keeps their job 3 years. 3 years. In public accounting, our biggest challenge is the 3 to 5 year range. They think it's awesome when they get out of school, they start making money, and then they decide they want to either do something different, get out of public accounting, or go somewhere else. What do you have to hang your hat on? How do you get the next job? I guess right now it's not hard. They call you every day. That's what my staff says. They get 2 to 4 calls a week, and they attack them through their where?
Social media,
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
The devil of public accounting.
They're on there for sure, man.
Yeah. I mean, so how many of you have a LinkedIn account? Everybody? Is that a requirement when you come here to do that?
Yeah, actually, that's the assignment we're discussing today.
Okay, because in my polling that I did of our staff, that was a requirement when they went and entered the accounting program where they were at, whatever school they went to. And so they're all in. How many of you keep your profile up to date?
I try to post at least once a week. You gotta keep posting. You gotta keep your interest up, man. That's kind of kidding yourself. Otherwise, if nobody's looking at you, then what's the point of having one?
So does everybody do that? Do you keep it up to date, or is it you? Kyle's going to make you set it up if you haven't done it already, and you're going to probably have to introduce it in class in some manner,
Maybe.
or he's going to go look them all up at least. He is going to do that, and then he's going to come and say, "Hey, Kevin, what's with your LinkedIn profile? But why aren't you doing anything with it?" They're recruiting out of that.
Oh, yeah.
So they're doing that. It's a big deal, and I've had staff come to me and say, "Do you want me to shut down my LinkedIn account?" I said, "No. I mean, if either we're a good place to work or we're not."
Yeah.
You know, that's really what it gets down to, and so I know they're being recruited. I hate when they call our office and ask for them, but through LinkedIn they can do just about anything. Okay, so what am I looking for when I'm looking for young people? How many of you are on Facebook? And I know that's like totally out of date, but remember I told you how old I was already. So how many of you have a Facebook account? And are you on it on a regular basis? How many of you ever been disappointed about what you put on Facebook? Okay, nobody. That's awesome. So one of the things we do in recruiting is, and I can't name them all, I have a daughter who's 30 and a son who's 25, and he works for Grant Thornton in Kansas City. And so that's how I keep up with the social media things, because all I have is a Facebook account, and I only got it because of my kids.
Yeah.
I wanted to follow my kids around through high school and college, and now I don't even look at it on a regular basis. So we look at anything we can in social media about you when we're hiring. So if you think that you have to be smart about what you do, where you go, and what you post.
Yeah.
And probably more importantly, that's the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when Facebook first came out, people were so proud of taking pictures of their dinners and posting that because it was so new and they thought that was really cool. Now they do a lot of other things with it, and they post pictures like crazy, and you can find out what people do. It's important to us because this is a professionalism class, right? And so the fun we got to have when we were in high school and college, you have to be very careful about as you're entering the profession. And so we pay attention to those things. Professionalism is like everything to us. And professionalism can mean how well you dress or not. That has become less of an issue in our profession. When I entered the profession, you wore a 3-piece suit to work, and you wore it all day. You didn't. I took my coat off when I came in here, but you had the vest buttoned up, coat on, 8 to 12 hours a day. It was the most awful thing that I had to do, and I had not worn a suit in my life prior to graduating from college. So now we have what we call business appropriate. You know, and so but there's lots of words, but we have people that dress just like you are today. No shorts, sorry. I can see legs under the table, so no shorts. But they dress just like you every day, and that's okay. We've learned to adapt that. We're reading a book right now, and it goes down the generations. There's 5 generations in the workforce right now, and you can get traditionalists, baby boomers. I get them all goofed up. There's 5, and the dress code got more casual with each generation, and so you either had to get used to it or not, you know, or nobody's going to work for you, because I don't know if you're going to be willing to wear a suit and tie to work every day. And he smiled. He would rather not. That's what that means. That's okay. I don't wear them anymore either. And I'm not a traditionalist. I'm the baby boomer, but I'm the next level down. And so I still wear slacks. My wife made me buy these shoes, by the way, if you like them, they're really cool. I would rather not wear these, but she said it was time to, you know, get to the current generation. But I'll wear a jacket a lot, but I rarely wear a tie. And I used to wear one every day. So, but that's part of professionalism. So if you're going to go count inventory at a roofing supply company, how are you going to dress? Remember I said you're counting inventory.
Carhartts and boots.
You're going to dress casual. You're going to dress really casual because you're going to get dirty. But when you go out on that audit, when that audit starts, how do you think you ought to dress? Professional. Yeah, that's the word. You have to pay attention. And professional means a lot of different things to different people. My example on that one is early in my career, I was not a partner. I was asked to go to a client in Ava, Missouri. Anybody know where Ava is?
Oh, yeah.
I'm from there.
There you go. Affectionately referred to as Booger County. There used to be a company down there called the Marvin Barnes Company, and they were like the Harry Cooper, home improvement stuff, plumbing, mostly plumbing stuff. They asked me to go down there and work, and so I got on my 3-piece suit, drove down there and worked for the day, and the guy that owned it, his name was Marvin Barnes, he came up to me afterwards, said, put his arm around me, he said, "Hey Bob, you did a great job down here today, but don't ever come down here dressed like that again." Says it's very intimidating to our people. You dress to who you're working with. And being from Ava, you totally understand that, right? It's a very rural market area down southeast from here. Professionalism means, am I looking, acting, dressing appropriately to the circumstances I'm involved in at that moment? That's what it means. Okay, so in the early days, that meant you did what you were told to, and you dress up and you yes sir, no ma'am type thing. It means totally different than that, than what it used to, which has really been very good. It was really a little too starch or strict. That didn't make it. We think better when we're not under so much pressure. And so I found that to be very helpful. It took me many, many years to let loose of that. I've been managing our firm for 19 years. And so I was the guy that told you you were dressed appropriately, you weren't, you acted appropriately, you didn't. I followed you on Facebook, or were you Friday night? That was my job. And I got a little over the top on what that meant. And I don't think we lost anybody because of that, but it became really hard on the young people. And I love working with young people. It's one of my favorite things I get to do still, is watch them grow in their career. It's people like me, I'm not going to do anything different than I'm doing now, but if I can watch you through your first few years of practice, it's really fun to watch how the light comes on, you begin to figure things out, your problem-solving skills hone up. Those are some of the things you're taught the theory of in college, but the practical use takes a little bit of time, and so it's pretty fun to do. But I was being really hard on you, and that wasn't causing success. It probably shortened your career in public accounting, would be my guess. So that's what it means. So that's my professionalism piece. the networking piece, and I do want to read a couple of these. I really appreciated the young people and their willingness to share. But, so that this young lady is not from the area, and so and she wants to stay here. And she said, I've spent a lot of time trying to perfect my LinkedIn profile so I can connect with more people in the Springfield area. So that's a very positive thing. And she's also the one who told me that every student was required to set up a LinkedIn profile. I won't read all of this, but this young lady used the network to ask questions. And I do have to stop a second. I'm really impressed that there's as many guys in this class as there are, because we are 85% female. Nothing against the females, but the enrollment, and I'm on the accounting advisory board here at Missouri State, and we know the enrollment numbers are significantly female to male. And so stick with it, guys. It's a great profession. I've got 40 years in the profession.
Breaking molds, brother.
I use my network to ask questions that I like to ensure the way that how to interview, how to respond to emails. But our last comment, what every college student should know: every teacher, employer, and student you meet may help further your career in the future. And so what our young people do, and this young lady has actually helped us recruit. And so she has gone to somebody else and said, I want to tell you about Elliot Robinson and Company and why I think you ought to come to work here. And she convinced this young lady to make a change. And so had she not gotten involved in school, she probably wouldn't even know this. I would not have been able to do that. I couldn't tell you one person's name that I went to college with, that I graduated from college with in accounting. So that's a very positive. I guess the point is, you're going to use networking the rest of your life. That's the way I look at it. As a student, you're trying to find the right place to go. Where do I want to work? Where do I fit in? You'll find out after you get past it's money. It's really about, do I get up and go to work every day and like it? Is it fun? Because in the end, the dollars kind of work their way out. They seem to. But do I like what I do for a living? Do I love getting up and going to work? I can tell you what I've been doing at Elliot Robinson. I've enjoyed like 90% of what I've done for 40 years. And that's why I've stayed there. I've been offered lots of jobs along the way, and I've taken none of them. So you have to like that. The networking can get you where you want to be long term. And you know, my hope is that the profession changes, and it's not changing. You're not moving jobs every 3 to 5 years as you go, and you're staying long term. But I'm the guy on the backside getting ready to, I'll be retiring from the profession in the next 4 or 5 years. They did the LinkedIn, I guess LinkedIn's the college, that's where the colleges put all the efforts in, is that correct? Okay. I kind of already said that. I think I've kind of covered these things. Now, in my opinion, where networking is going to pay off is as you enter the profession, how you network will change. So for me, I get really involved in the community. I've been on many boards in the Springfield area, still am on several. I've gotten to meet lots of people along the way, and and I don't do it to get business, but I've gotten lots of business from doing it. And but I've gotten lots of friends, professional friends that I didn't know, have become long-term friends and business associates that have helped me along the way. It can be as easy as, I need to know, I've got a special circumstance with a client, and I need the right insurance agent. I need the right banker. I know all those people now. And so that's helped me be able to refer and take care of my clients along the years in the right way. And so it's been very, very helpful. That's networking. That's networking. I'm on the chamber board of directors right now. I met a whole new group of people when I went on that board 2 years ago, most of which I've not met in my career. I've known, haven't met. So I've expanded that population of people that I know. I've already received referrals from that. So in that case, that's like you getting a job offer. I'm getting a new client out of you. And so you're gonna use that, and you have to wanna do it. It doesn't just happen. Accountants by nature are introverts. How many would admit you're an introvert? Almost everybody. You gotta get out of that shell. I mean, the requirements of our profession, the stereotype was the pocket protector, the visor, and your sharp pencil, and that's an accountant. That's no longer acceptable. And so you have to figure out how to be able to communicate with the clients that you work with, the people you work with in your community. You have to figure out how to do that, and you'll have to work at that. If you're an introvert, you'll have to work at that. And it's not easy. That might be the hardest thing that you do, but you need to do it. And it doesn't matter whether you're in public accounting, private accounting, government, doesn't matter. You're gonna have lots of communication you're gonna have to do, or a totally different industry. You might have a double major and you're gonna end up in computer science or finance and be in banking. It'll happen and be required. So the networking piece is a must. Learn how to do it, like it. There's lots of ways to do it. And so if you read about this is the way you do it, there's lots of ways to do everything that you do. That's the one thing I've learned. The way you like to do it and you like to do it don't have to be the same. They just don't, as long as you do it. So that's my advice on that. The other thing, Kyle, and you tell me when I'm supposed to be done.
Take as long as you need.
Okay. The other thing you talked about, asked me to talk about, are thank you notes. Okay. These are really important, and I got a Robert Half statistic that I was really surprised at, that only 25% of people do thank you notes for events they've been invited to or job interviews. I was really shocked by that. I don't care whether you like the people you interviewed with or not, you should send a thank you note every time. Don't do that. After an interview, and the traditional way would be to send a thank you letter, thank you note. I realize that's dated. Emails are fine. Even if you're communicating through text, that's fine. But you need to do it, because you just might run across that person again. They may go somewhere else and you apply to work there and they remember you. And you're the one that kind of just blew them off. Don't be that one. Be the one that said that you were very surprised to get a thank you back, and they remember that. Even events, we've done several recruiting events, and again, I'm not involved in the recruiting of our firm anymore, but we did a big shots golf thing, I think last spring or something like that. Every one of those people that attended that should have sent a thank you to Elliot Robinson County. And Abacus does it, and KPM does it, and I still like to say BKD, but I know it's four of us. I've got good friends over there. And KPM, all the larger firms do events. Go to them. I don't care if you got a job with Abacus. I would strongly recommend, and even a couple of the young people in here said the same thing, go to all of them. Go to as many as you possibly can, because you just don't know. You may think, and I'm picking on your boss, but I'm friends with him too. You may think he's the best thing that you've run across. When you start going there 50 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, 48, you might not. Or you might end up next to somebody, or somebody's your supervisor who you can't stand. You just can't get along with, personality conflicts. Go to all those events, because you might just need that opportunity someday, and you might get remembered for it. And I think that's really, really important, especially even if you think you've got a job. Because that's what one of the young ladies said in here, well, I already had a job with Elliot Robinson, so I didn't go to any of them. I would discourage you from doing that. And I'm glad she works for us, but I would discourage you from doing that. You might need a contact someday. You might be a better fit. All of us recruit on campus, and we all believe we're great. And we all probably are. We're all very good firms. The five that got named off, those are 5 excellent firms. They really are. I don't have anything bad to say about any of them. but you might not fit there and you might look for an opportunity somewhere else. Even if you're not from here, if you live in St. Louis or Kansas City and you don't know, go to the event anyway. You learn how to network better. You learn how to talk to people like me. You have to be able to communicate with me and have a conversation. It teaches you how to do that. And then when you get in the next one, you're just a little more comfortable on how to do it and what to say and what to talk about. And what Kyle and I were talking about at the beginning, it will almost never have anything to do with your technical capabilities. All of you make good grades. You don't get to the higher level classes in your degree if you don't make pretty good grades. And so rarely do they ask questions even in interviews about how, they might ask you what classes you took or what your favorite one is, but we don't even look at transcripts anymore. We don't. We want to know, can you communicate with us? And so it'll teach you how to do that better. And that our profession requires you to be good communicators now. In any area you work in, doesn't matter. In the days of, well, I'm just the tax person, I sit in the back office, I prepare or review or work on complex tax matters, I don't have to talk to anybody, that is not true. It is not true. So take every opportunity you can, interview as much as you can, even if you don't want to go to work for them, interview with them. You practice interviewing, you learn how they ask questions, you learn whether you answered them right. You can walk out and do a self-evaluation of how well you did on that. All those are networking opportunities, every single one. So, anybody have questions about this? Somebody asked, I'm not leaving until you ask at least one question.
So when it comes to like social media and stuff, like it seems like nowadays, like you can offend almost anybody from anything. So like, how do you kind of balance posting what you want to versus like trying to stay professional for work?
That's a really good question. You have to be who you are. So I wouldn't tell you to not do that, because when you get in the workplace, your true personality is going to show anyway. So, I mean, if you think of the definition of professionalism, because that's really what that's about. Are you respectful? Is there moral values attached to what you said? Because you can have a strong opinion about anything and do it respectfully. And that's what I would tell you on that. Just make sure you're respectful. I don't mind somebody disagreeing with the way I view something. I don't have any problem with that. So, but I think the being respectful and moral, ethical values, all the things, if you're going to be CPAs, that you're going to have to adhere to anyway. I mean, I'm going to guess all of you were raised that way. And so maybe I'll answer it differently. If your mom read it, would she be offended? Would she go, hey, be careful? Then you know that you're on the line. So the good news is, social media has now been around, 20 years, almost all your lives. And so it's, I would say it's mature. And so what I read when I go down through LinkedIn, or even when I do Facebook, I don't see near as much junk, and things that just shouldn't be in there as I used to. So that's really good. And I think if I got the names, I could look all of you up, I guess, in some manner. I'd say you're doing just fine, but just be respectful. Try to keep for me. You don't have to agree with me, except he's wearing a Kansas City Chiefs, so you're good. You're all right in my book. Anybody else? Go ahead.
So after the career fair, I connected with some, they gave me the company name card, then I connected with LinkedIn with them, and they connected back. But some of them didn't give me any response of the interview information. So do you think I have to ask them again or something?
Yeah.
Like a social media message? Because I never use a LinkedIn to talk with friends or something, so I don't know how to talk with them, to mention them. There's still someone waiting for your information on the interview.
I would reach out. I
Like,
would definitely reach out. LinkedIn's fine. I'd call their office.
call,
Just call them. Introduce yourself, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, these things that you spend about 8 hours a day on, use it.
Oh.
I would be so much happier if I got a phone call from you.
Really?
I would. Then I would be.
Do I need to something like tell them first, hey, I want to call you, do you have time or something? Just call them, I don't know if they have a meeting or something.
They'll tell you.
Well, they'll tell you. I mean, the first thing you find out, I mean, I go to their website. Let's go to Elliot Robinson's website, okay? And we're all on there. Picture of everybody that works at Elliot Robinson is on there. And do you think you should call me?
I think so.
Well, I'm not gonna hire you because I'm not the one that does that.
Okay.
So you wanna look up, this is age discrimination, okay? And I'm discriminating against myself, so I can't get in trouble for this. If you look at the 7 partners of our firm, and you look at the pictures of them, how old do you think I am? I already told you. I don't look like I'm 40 though, do I? You can say that. That's right, you won't hurt my feelings. I'm one of 8 children, it'd be really hard to hurt my feelings, so we grew up giving each other a hard time. So no, don't look at the 2 old guys. There's 2 old guys. Tom, Eric, and I, we're the old guys. We're not recruiting. We don't hire people. It's not our job. I've got 5 younger partners. And if you look at them, it's Matt, Amanda, Carrie, Stephanie, Lori, okay? They're all within about 6 or 7 years of the same age. Matt's 43 or 4, and the youngest is like 37 or 8, okay? Any one of those people.
So I don't need to any appointments,
You
just to call them?
Just to call them, you just call them. Leave a message, give your name, say, hey, we connected at the job fair, the career fair, whatever it's called, a career fair. I wanted to follow up. I have an interest in your firm.
Okay. So that's not rude to just call them?
It is not rude. It is not rude. Not at all. In fact, they'll be impressed.
I will remember that. And I
So use that. I throw that out to all of you. Be bold. Be courageous. You know, you'll have an impact. That may not get you a job at that firm, but it'll change your confidence level. And you'll go, that's okay. We still really, really like to get phone calls. I really, really like to talk to you. You know, and I do get to approve whether somebody gets hired or not, because I'm still a managing partner of the firm. And so I know about all of them. But if I got a call, if you called me and introduced yourself and said, hey, I approached your table at the job fair, and I'm really interested in your firm, and I'd get your name and your contact information, and I'd walk out of my office and I'd go to Amanda's office, who does our recruiting, said, hey, she was courageous enough to call me. I'd like you to interview her. And she would.
So personal cell phone number or the office cell phone number is better to call?
Well, at that point, you'll just have the office number.
Office.
And then after that, then they communicate however they do. I protect my cell phone number because as the managing partner, you get called by lots of people, and I don't want them to call me on my cell phone on the weekend to try to sell me something. So I've separated that but my clients have my cell phone number.
So which time you think is the best time to call them? In the morning or in the afternoon?
I'd call in the morning.
Morning.
That gives them a chance to call you back that day. Now, will they be there ready for you to take your calls? I can't answer that question. We all have schedules, just like you have class.
Yeah.
And you're in this class right now, so I couldn't call you back from 12:30 to 1, whatever time this class gets out. I couldn't call you because you're in class. It'd be a really bad idea for you to answer your cell phone while Kyle's teaching. That's a recommendation for you. But I would tell you, do it. Call them. Call them. If you're interested, they need to know that. I got my first job out of college because I wore them out. Now, at the time, our only communication was via telephone or a letter, because that's 1980. We didn't have cell phones and all that stuff. But I called that place. I bet I called them 20 times. And I think I finally just wore them down, and they interviewed me, and I got the job. And I interviewed well, because I wanted to work where I was going. So definitely, calls, go ahead.
What about if you like, have you like never even like met the recruiter or anything like that? Just like cold calling them? That works so.
I do the same thing. If you're interested, there's a reason why you call. You must have, there's something you either learn from their website, word of mouth, something that said, hey, this must be a good place to work. Just call them. They'll connect you with a recruiter. They'll have you send them your resume, have your resume ready, because they're gonna want you to email it to them right away. Every resume we get at our firm, we look through and respond. And I can't speak for Abacus or anybody else, but I'm gonna guess they do the same thing. I mean, in the world we live in right now, we didn't used to have to do that. In the world we live in right now, we wanna make sure we have a contact with anybody. If we think that you're good enough, and we're not hiring, if we weren't, we're always hiring, but if we weren't at the time, and we think you're good enough, we'd hire you. We would. So, definitely, call, ask for those recruiting, yes?
Back on the topic of social media, if we don't have one, is that looked down upon?
No. No, but it would be great. Apparently, you're gonna have a LinkedIn account if you don't have one already. It sounds like you're gonna have one whether you want one or not. But it's a good way for us to learn about you, find what you're involved in, and so I think it's a good thing. I think it's more about what you post that's important. I really do. And as I shared with you, I was not a big social media person. I'm still really not. I just got there because my kids were in high school, and I wanted to find out what was going on, and they had to friend me. So that was a requirement for them to have a Facebook account, and they've not ever unfriended me. So, but I don't think either of them use it very much anymore, because what's the big thing now?
Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah, so I don't have one of those accounts. My kids are 30 and 25, figured out. Done all I can, turn them loose. Anything else?
Good job, Bob.
Thank you. Well, if you ever have, go ahead.
What do you look for on a resume?
Oh, wow. I'm looking for people, that have worked. If you're gonna be in public accounting, you have to have some type of work ethic. It's not an easy profession. I can't stand in front of you and say it's easy. It is not. It's a very rewarding profession. It's been great to me. It's been done great things for my family, but I've worked really hard for a long time. But I'm looking for people that work, that get involved. I could not get a job at our firm right now because I did nothing but work in college, and that's not enough. And so you need to get involved in the accounting club at Beta Alpha Psi, in community. You can volunteer. I know this university has all kinds of volunteer opportunities. Those look great on your resume. Look really, really good. This is kind of a selfish thing, but if I have an athlete, I really like athletes, and it's because both of my kids work. My son played college basketball. My daughter played college soccer, and it's a full-time job. And they did really well in school, so I'm looking for that and good grades. So if you played a sport in college and you didn't work, that's okay, because if you're a college athlete now, it's a year-round job. But I want good work experience. I want involvement either in the community or in your organizations through your school. Fraternities, sororities are good because they're very active. So that's what I'm looking for in a resume.
Good insight.
What else, Samantha? Go ahead.
So I have a question about LinkedIn, like picture. So you think it's very professional is better, or have, because my picture is like a yellow jacket, looks very chic, is instead of the professional. You think you want more like similar thing, or you want more personal like style of?
I like both of them. So as an example, my new friend over here, who's wearing his Chiefs apparel today, this would look really good for me because I'm gonna have a Chiefs fan. But as long as you don't look sloppy, dress up, don't dress up. It wouldn't matter to me. I mean, he's got his Missouri State t-shirt on, I'm okay with that. I'm probably looking more at the content. I mean, if he comes in and his hair's, he just got out of bed, and he took his picture, and he's got, bed hair, and his t-shirt looks like it was in the corner all balled up, that's probably not very good. But everybody, I don't see anybody in the room that I'd go, oh, that turns me off. Because I'm gonna look at the content of your LinkedIn profile. That's really what I'm most interested in. So, you don't have to be in a suit and tie, I guess. So, that doesn't matter anymore. It used to. What else? How long ago did you graduate from Ava?
I graduated in 2020, so.
So, you know the Swafford boys then, don't you?
Graduated with Nate.
That's my brother-in-law and nephew. So, I've gone to lots of Ava Bear football games.
I'm from Sparta. Born and raised.
Another big metropolis there.
Yeah.
It's a big city.
Suppose Arc.
How many are from the Springfield area? Where are the others from?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Awesome. St. Louis, okay.
Columbia.
Okay. Cool.